telling my sister wives that I'm leaving Kody. They're all gonna come over and sit down outside, because we can only sit outside 6 feet apart, and I'm gonna tell them I'm leaving. This isn't gonna be a surprise.
Mykelti Brown Padron reportedly said Sister Wives is fizzling, and that word scared fans, because fizzling doesn't always mean boring. Sometimes it means production can't get the scenes anymore. So here's the real question. Could season 21 end the whole series? Before you decide it's over, lock in one thing first. Mykelti Brown Padron isn't TLC, and she isn't production. She can't approve a renewal or kill a season, so her words can signal a mood, not a contract. I also need to say this clearly. I don't have the original clip, link, or timestamp you saw. So I'm treating the Fizzling quote as reportedly said. If you have the source, that changes everything fast. It lets you judge tone, context, and what she meant. Now let's talk about why this even feels believable. Because the show's premise has shifted in public, not in theory. TLC's Sister Wives premiered on September 26, 2010. It didn't sell you a normal family reality show. It sold you a high-wire act. One husband. 4 wives. 18 kids at the time the series began. And one big message that kept repeating. Where one family. The early seasons leaned on togetherness as the spectacle. You saw group dinners, group rules, and group fallout. You also saw logistics most viewers never imagined. Schedules, shared parenting, and constant compromise. Then, the show followed big location changes over time. The family lived in Utah in the early seasons. Later seasons focused heavily on Las Vegas, Nevada. You saw 4 homes in one cul-de-sac there. That setup made filming easier, and drama harder to avoid. After that, the show centered more on Flagstaff, Arizona. And that's when distance started to feel like a character. Not just physical distance, either emotional distance. You could feel the tone change season by season. The we language started sounding more like me. More private frustrations hit the surface. More relationships looked strained on camera. Now here's the factual timeline that fuels the final season talk. Christine Brown confirmed her separation from Kody Brown in November 2021. She posted the announcement on Instagram on November 2, 2021. During a December 2022 one-on-one special, Janelle said they were separated. Meri Brown and Kody Brown announced their split in January 2023. They shared that update in a joint statement posted online. So, by those public statements, the original structure changed completely. Robyn Brown remained Kody's only wife from the original 4. That doesn't automatically end a TV show. But it forces the show to answer a new question. What's the show now? Is it still about plural marriage or about its collapse? Is it about rebuilding or just rehashing? And can the cast still film the moments viewers actually want? That's why Fizzling hits a nerve. Fans don't just fear boredom, they fear a slow fade where nothing big gets captured. And if that's what Mykelti meant, the stakes get real. Because a reality series doesn't die from one bad episode. It dies when the story can't be filmed anymore. And that's the part we have to unpack next. When you hear the show is fizzling, you probably hear it's canceled. That jump makes sense. Most people use fizzling as a polite word for dying. But reality TV works in a weird way. A show can fizzle in one area and still keep going. So you've got to ask what kind of fizzle you're hearing. I break it into 3 buckets: family, story, and access. First bucket, the family is fizzling. This means the connection between people keeps thinning out. It's less about one huge fight. It's more about fewer shared moments week after week. In the early concept, the show had built-in group scenes. People lived a shared schedule, even when it got messy. When a family stops moving as a unit, scenes get harder. You can't film a group dinner if no one shows up. And yes, producers can adapt to that. They can film separate lives and tie them together in editing. They can build episodes around parallel updates and solo arcs. That's a format shift, not an automatic death sentence. Second bucket, the story engine is fizzling. This is the kind of fizzle you feel as a viewer. You start predicting lines before people even say them. It's the same talk in a different room. It's the same wound getting poked again. It's the same argument relabeled as closure. To be fair, that's also how real life works. People don't process breakups in clean chapters. They backslide. They repeat themselves. They try the same conversation with new wording. But TV punishes repetition fast because you're not watching to hear the same point 3 times. You're watching to see what changes. So when change slows down, viewers call it dragging. Now the third bucket is the scary one. Access is fizzling. This isn't about whether drama exists. Drama always exists. This is about whether cameras can capture it. Reality TV needs scenes that happen in real time. It needs people in the same place, facing the same moment. When key events happen off camera, you get retellings instead. Retellings can be honest, but they don't hit the same way. A confessional can explain what happened. It can't replace the tension of watching it unfold. A phone call can update you. It can't give you the room's energy. So if fizzling means access is shrinking, that's a different problem. That's when producers start building episodes out of summaries. That's when the show starts to feel secondhand. And here's the part fans don't always notice. Access can fade without anyone announcing it. Nobody posts, "We stopped filming together." You just start seeing fewer, unavoidable scenes. So when you hear that Mykelti reportedly said fizzling, don't stop there. Ask what she could have been pointing at. Was she talking about family closeness? Was she talking about story fatigue? Or was she hinting that filming itself got harder? Because only one of those leads straight to final season. And it's the one that happens behind closed doors. In the next section, we'll talk about how to spot that early. When people online say season 21 is the last season, two things happen fast. The claim spreads. Then the source gets messy. So if you want to stay grounded, use one simple rule. If TLC didn't announce it, you can't call it confirmed. You can discuss it, but you can't present it as fact. That sounds strict, but it saves you from getting played. Because reality TV rumors don't just appear. They get repeated until they feel real. Here's what real confirmation usually looks like. You see official wording from TLC or the production team. You see press materials that clearly say renewed or returning. You often see major entertainment outlets report the same official language. Now compare that to how season 21 is ending talk usually spreads. A short clip, cut tight. A screenshot with no date. A caption that says insider but names no source. Then 10 accounts repost it like it's settled. So here's a quick checklist you can run in your head. Where did the claims start? Did the post link to anything official? Can you find the original clip uncut with context? Or did you only see a repost of a repost? And let's be honest, most people don't chase the original source. They chase the feeling. They want a clean answer right now. But the truth is, a final season can mean different things too. Sometimes it means the network canceled the show. Sometimes it means the network ordered a planned ending. Sometimes it means the cast doesn't want to do it anymore. And sometimes it means the format changes, but the franchise survives. So even if you hear season 21 is happening, that doesn't settle it. A show can get one more season and still be winding down. Networks love a marketed goodbye because it drives attention. They can turn an ending into an event. Now bring it back to Mykelti's reported fizzling comment. That word doesn't sound like a planned farewell tour. It sounds like momentum dropping. It sounds like the machine isn't running as smoothly. But you still can't jump from fizzling to final season. Not without something official to anchor it. Because family members can speak from their perspective only. They might talk about interest, or energy, or emotion. They might not know what TLC will do next. So here's the best way to handle season 21 chatter. Treat it like a weather forecast, not a calendar date. It can help you prepare. It can't guarantee what happens. And I'll leave you with the biggest question to hold on to. If the show ends, what would actually cause it? Would it be ratings, money, or access to real scenes? Because once you know the real reason, the rumors get easier to read. And that's exactly what we're breaking down next. If Sister Wives ends with season 21, it probably won't feel sudden. It'll feel like math. Cold, boring math. Networks don't end long-running shows because of angry tweets. They don't end them because fans got tired. They end them for 3 specific reasons. And once you see those reasons, you'll never read a rumor the same way. Reason 1. The audience stops showing up. I'm not going to throw ratings numbers at you without verified sources. That would be irresponsible. And this script follows one rule above all. Every claim has to be checkable. But the principle never changes. If people watch, networks keep ordering. If people stop watching, the budget conversation starts. And that conversation doesn't happen publicly. It happens in rooms you'll never see. Reason 2. The show costs too much for what it returns. This is the part nobody talks about on TikTok. Long-running reality shows don't stay cheap. Cast pay can rise over time, especially for main family members. Production gets more complicated when people live in different cities. Travel costs go up. Editing gets harder when stories don't intersect naturally. So you end up spending more money to chase less content. The return on each episode shrinks. And at some point, someone with a spreadsheet says, "We need to talk." But reason 3 is the one that changes everything. This is the killer nobody sees coming. Access, not drama. Not interest. Not how many people tweet about the show. Access. Meaning, can the cameras actually be in the room when it matters? Let me make this real for you. Think about the scenes that made early seasons unforgettable. The big family meetings, the tense dinners, the moments where someone said something and the whole room reacted. Those scenes worked because cameras were there. You weren't told about a fight later. You watched it happen. You saw faces change. You heard the silence after a comment landed. Now imagine the same family, but spread out. The fight happens in a private phone call. The big decision happens in a living room with no crew. The emotional conversation happens between 2 people who didn't agree to film it. So what does the show give you instead? A confessional. Someone sitting alone, explaining what happened. It was really hard. I couldn't believe it. I need time. That's not nothing. But it's not a scene. It's a summary. And you can feel the difference in your bones. You've probably already felt it in recent episodes without naming it. Something felt farther away. Something felt like it was being reported, not shown. That's what fizzling can sound like on screen. Not silence, not cancellation, just distance between you and the real moment. So bring it all the way back to that word Mykelti reportedly used. Fizzling. If she meant the family isn't close anymore, that's painful but survivable. Shows have built entire formats around fractured families. If she meant the story feels repetitive, that's a writing problem. Producers can restructure arcs, add new characters, shift focus. But if she meant the show can't film what matters anymore, that's different. That's not a fixable problem in post-production. You can't edit your way around a locked door. And this is the emotional anchor that ties everything together. The show sold you proximity. One family, under one concept, navigating one life together. Now imagine the same show, but the proximity is gone. People don't cross paths on camera. They react to each other from separate locations. The pauses happen in private. The looks don't get captured. That's when a franchise starts to lose its gravity. Not because people stopped caring, because the cameras stop being close enough to show you why you should. And here's the line I want you to remember. A reality show can survive bad ratings for a while. It can survive online hate. It can survive cast changes and format shifts. But it cannot survive a world where the best scenes happen without it. You can't predict a final season from one quote. You can't even predict it from one messy headline. But you can watch for signals that endings are being planned. And the good news is, you don't need insider access to do that. You just need to know what networks and producers always leave behind. Clues show up in language, structure, and timing. Let's start with the strongest signal. Official wording. Networks don't casually say series finale. They don't casually say final season. Those phrases are marketing tools, and they're used on purpose. If you see TLC using that language in promos or press, take it seriously. Not because it guarantees cancellation, because it means they want you to feel an ending is coming. Second signal. Cast wording, but you've got to look for a pattern. One person saying I'm done can be emotion. One person saying it's over can be a bad day. But when multiple family members start hinting at wrapping things up, that's different. Then it becomes a chorus, not a solo. And pay attention to how they say it. Do they talk like the show is still in motion? Or do they talk like they've already moved on? That difference matters. Third signal. Episode construction. This is the one viewers feel before they can explain it. Look at what you're actually watching. Are you seeing real-time interactions that force conflict or connection? Or are you watching people explain what happened in the past? Here's a simple way to track it. Count how many major moments happen on camera. Not teased, not described afterward, actually filmed. Now count how many moments get told through confessionals, or through I heard conversation, or through off-camera updates that you never see. If the balance keeps shifting towards summaries, that's not just a style choice. It can be a sign of shrinking access. Fourth signal. The timeline squeeze. When a show starts stretching a small amount of story across many episodes, you notice it. You see long scenes of people arriving, leaving, or repeating the same point. You see fewer new beats per episode. That can happen for normal reason. But it can also happen when production doesn't have enough usable scenes. So editors slow the pacing to fill the hour. Fifth signal. The way the show sets up the future. This one is subtle. When a show expects more seasons, it plants long arcs. It introduces goals that take time. Moves, builds, relationship plans, big projects. When a show might be nearing an end, the storytelling shifts. You see more closure language, more where we are today, more reflection, more I'm at peace now. It starts feeling like a wrap-up, even if no one says the words. Now let's answer the question you actually came for. Could season 21 be the final season? Yes, it could. And the strongest reason wouldn't be fans are bored. It would be that access keeps shrinking, and the format can't survive that. But here's the other side, and you should hear it too. Even if the main series ends, a network can still keep the world alive. They can pivot into specials. They can do milestone episodes. They can do focused updates on one part of the family. That isn't a promise. It's just a standard playbook in reality TV. So if you want to be ahead of the rumor cycle, do this. Stop chasing declaration. Start watching for patterns. Because if fizzling is real, you won't see it first in a headline. You'll see it in what the show can't film anymore. So where does that leave you right now? With one word. Fizzling. If you only hear fizzling as canceled, you'll miss the real story. Because this show can lose heat in 3 different ways. The family can drift apart, the plot can repeat itself, or filming access can shrink behind the scenes. And only one of those usually ends a series. Access, that's the door that matters. So here's what I'd do if I were you. Stop waiting for a viral post to tell you the truth. Start watching for patterns you can actually verify. Listen for final season language from TLC, not fan accounts. Watch how many key moments happen on camera, not in confessionals. And pay attention to whether storylines collide or stay separated. Those signs won't give you instant certainty, but they'll keep you from getting whipped around by rumors. And if you did see the Mykelti clip everyone's quoting, help yourself out. Track down the original upload, not a repost. Look for a date. Listen for what question she was answering. Then, ask the simplest question of all. Did she mean energy, storytelling, or production access? Because context changes everything. A throwaway comment can sound like a warning without context, and a careful comment can get clipped into something harsher. Now I want to flip it back to you. Would you keep watching if the show becomes mostly separate updates? Or do you only care when everyone shares the same room? That answer matters, because networks chase what you actually watch. They don't chase what you say you want. They chase attention, week after week. So if the format changes, your viewing habits become the real vote. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe for one reason. So you get updates that separate confirmed facts from pure speculation. No fake insider talk, no mystery sources, just what we can verify and what we can't. And if you want a perfect next watch, go to my video about one issue. What happens when reality casts stop filming together? That's the hidden problem behind most final season predictions. It's also the fastest way a hit show starts fading quietly. I'll also keep an eye on the other big clue: how the show frames its own future. Does it set new long arcs or close old chapters? Does it introduce new goals or only reflect on old pain? Those choices tell you what the producers think they can film next, because that's what this whole conversation comes down to. Not whether people still care. People clearly still care. It's whether the show can still catch the moments you can't look away from. That's the difference between a season that feels alive and a season that feels like it's fizzling out.